With breaking news happening now, this is Wave 3 News.
Breaking right now. Heartbreaking video here showing Southern Indiana officers line up and salute one of their own killed in a crash just hours ago.
Right now, we know 33-year-old Charlestown police officer Benton Bertram was killed in the line of duty. There's a picture of him here. He was with the Charlestown Police Department for 9 years.
We now know this happened during a chase that started as a traffic stop near Charlestown, then continued into Scott County. Officer Bertram crashed into a tree at the intersection of State Road 3 and State Road 56, just east of Scottsburg. Now, Wave 3 News reporter Kayla Van Meter joins us live from the scene here. Somber morning, but Kayla has much new information here unfolding every minute here. Good morning, Kayla.
Yeah, good morning to you guys. It is extremely sad. It's a painful morning out here for so many in Scottsburg. You will not see the red and blue lights behind me anymore. We know investigators actually left this scene about an hour and a half ago, actually clearing this, opening the road back up for traffic. Again, extremely painful, though, for not only Officer Bertram's family, but his fellow officers who were here at the scene when they loaded his body into an ambulance. Meanwhile, other officers responsible for making an arrest this morning. So we know all of this started around 10:30 last night. ISP telling us Officer Benton Bertram was in Charlestown attempting to make a traffic stop. There was a man, we're calling him the suspect, 23-year-old Benjamin Eads of Freedom, Indiana, driving that suspected car. It was a 98 Toyota Corolla. ISP says Eads would not stop, so Officer Bertram drove after him down State Road 3. Well, that chase ended right here at the intersection of State Road 3 and State Road 56. Those familiar understand that this road actually makes a Y. Neighbors calling it a very dangerous area. At that time, ISP tells us Bertram was swerving left off the road and crashed into a tree. He was pronounced dead here at the scene, according to ISP. We saw officers this morning saluting his body as it was placed inside an ambulance, clinging onto one another during this devastating time. And just moments ago, we spoke to a neighbor who witnessed everything.
They tried their best when they got him out of the car. They good 45, 50 minutes taking turns trying to bring him back to life, but it was too late. He was gone. But they did put their best effort into it.
Meanwhile, this neighbor says she watched the suspect drive away. Police finally caught up with Eads in Clark County. He's now in custody at the Scott County Jail, facing several charges this morning. Resisting law enforcement, causing death is just one of them, along with auto theft, a couple felonies this morning. Everything still under investigation. As for Officer Bertram, we know that he was 33 years old and has been with the Charlestown City Police Department for 9 years. As we get more details minute by minute this morning, everything keeps coming into our newsroom. Of course, out here in the field, we'll be sure to update you right here on Sunrise. Keep a close eye on wave3.com as well. For now, reporting live in Scottsburg, Kayla Van Meter, Wave 3 News.
Okay, that's one of many sad but very important stories we're going to bring you here in the next hour, and some positive stories too. But we got to get you out the door with traffic and weather, and really, that's kind of a good news story.
Yeah, not much to talk about here this morning, but that's changing quickly. Let's get right to Tawana Andrew right now. You can see some of that rain to our south. Tawana, you've been talking about it, though. This is just the leading edge of several days of a lot of rainfall.
Yeah, we could see several inches before the weekend is even over. So quite a bit of rain on the way, but this morning we're only seeing the light stuff. So that's some good news. Most of us dry. However, if you look further to the south towards Grayson County, towards Greene County, Adair County, that's where we're starting to see more of these showers rolling in. So towards Caneyville, Sunfish, that's why we're seeing some of that light rain, in Greensburg getting in on that rain right now. Adair County, you're going to be dealing with this light rain as well through the morning as more and more of this pushes in from the Kentucky-Tennessee border. In addition to that, much warmer out there. We're seeing temperatures in the 40s for most locations, still sitting at 50 degrees in Louisville. And as we head through the day, keep an eye out for this. Temperatures getting into the mid to upper 50s for our highs today. That southerly wind really doing its job. So we're going to continue to be dealing with these warmer temperatures today. But before we know it, we'll be sitting in the 30s again.
It won't be long at all, so let's look it up while we can, right?
Exactly.
All right, we got some breaking traffic news I want to get to here. First off, a couple of crashes I need to cover One of these is going to take place right across Dixie Highway at Rockford Lane. We just checked. We don't have a lot of information on this. Certainly some slow speeds in that area. But this crash just developed moments ago. It's actually involving just one vehicle, a semi, and it's right in the middle of Spaghetti Junction on 64 westbound at I-65. Here is a live look right now from our Kentucky Kingdom SkyTrack camera. By the looks of it, it looks like the actual tractor trailer part is on its side and the cab is right side up. You can see several people standing here on the ramp itself, and of course again another semi off to the side here from the trailer. But by the looks of this, traffic is not getting through on this ramp here on 64 west heading towards 65. So just kind of a heads up there. This could be a long-term issue that could be developing here for the morning commute. So we'll be watching this carefully for the morning. Otherwise, everything looks pretty good as you flow into downtown on the side streets especially. I'll be back again with another full update on what's happening here in downtown, guys.
At 6:05, fire rips through an apartment complex, leaving more than a dozen people without a home this morning, and investigators believe it was set. It happened on Strawberry Lane about 4:30 yesterday, not far from Louisville's airport. Firefighters say they found heavy smoke and fire coming out of that apartment. There are 4 units inside that building, but 3 of them were occupied at the time of the fire. Residents tell us about 15 people live inside that building. Some of them were inside the building when the fire started, and they ran out to help each other.
I grabbed my jacket and I just thought about them, you know what I mean? As fast as I can get out of there and get them out of there, you know, as long as we, even though we lost everything, as long as we're alive, you know.
2 people were taken to the hospital for smoke inhalation. One of those victims may have second-degree burns. Arson investigators are looking into who set the fire and why.
Well, it is a sad local issue that's really hard to miss. The overwhelming number of people that are homeless living on the streets of Louisville. I drive by dozens of them on my way into work into downtown, all within a few blocks. The city cleaned out 3 homeless camps under 65, citing safety issues. And at College and Brook Street, people were living among trash, rodents, decaying food, and human waste.
If we clean this up and make it look like a city, maybe they won't have a problem with us staying and living underneath her.
That man didn't want us to show his face. He'd been living in the camp for the past 3 months, wanting to get away from society. Outreach groups say all the local shelters are full. Today, the Metro Council votes on a plan to spend $564,000 to provide more beds and storage lockers for the homeless. A former New Albany business owner has pleaded guilty to hiring a hitman to kill her ex-husband. Our partners at the News and Tribune report Laura Buckingham pleaded guilty to solicitation to commit first-degree murder. She owned Bread and Breakfast in New Albany, which closed in 2015. Following year, Buckingham was arrested down in Tennessee for paying an undercover agent to kill her ex in the midst of a custody battle. The plea deal calls for a 10-year sentence, but it's all suspended to probation, meaning she'll just get probation. The sentencing, though, is set for March.
Another mild day ahead, highs back into the 50s for this afternoon. Going to be dealing with some on and off showers here and there as we head through the day. So make sure you're keeping an eye on the radar, especially over the next 12 hours. Now into tomorrow, much more rain heading our way. I'll break down how much we're expecting in just a few minutes.
And up next, details on why the governor is taking aim at the Courier-Journal over a new investigative journalism partnership they've got going. And 3 people rescued from a mine, but they may be spending some time contained again soon.
This newscast is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan for thepeople.com. More local now. You're watching Wave 3 News Sunrise with John Bull, Lauren Jones, meteorologist Tawana Andrew, and Brian Good.
Hey guys, good morning. It's 6:11 on this Thursday. Update on the breaking traffic news into downtown. If you're traveling from the east end of Louisville and I-64 is your route, heads up here. We have a semi that has overturned onto its side here right in the middle of the junction itself. And this is a live look at it right now. I know it's kind of a dark image, but you can see up against the concrete wall. Now the ramp is just wide enough that there are cars able to get by it slowly, but you can certainly see the flashing lights behind it. So LMPD is on the scene, but it is, again, very slow in getting any of that traffic past that semi. And that is a popular route. That's how you get toward Jefferson Street and even heading toward 65 South in general. So just a heads up, again, that route, 64 West to 65 South, will be slow for a while. All right, sending it out now to the Wave 3 News Weather Garden where the team is standing by. I'm surprised I am bringing out the baby pool this morning. It's getting so much warmer out.
We were are swimming over there. It's still frozen from last week.
Okay, I can do your weather forecast with no words in
Do
like
it.
4 seconds. Ready? I can
Ready.
get across all you need to know. Ready?
Ready.
There you go, done.
You're missing a part of it.
Okay,
Where's the
I missed part
umbrella?
of it?
We gotta find an umbrella for
Okay.
John.
She's got it.
I'll
You
give you
need
the
to
Bears
work on
hat.
that.
You want Teddy's
Yes,
hat?
you're right. You're right.
You need to work on it, but you can throw off a layer today.
Yeah, and
It's
go with the
not
thin
as
coat.
cold.
Yeah.
You hear the birds chirping out here. I don't know if you can hear them through the camera.
Is Derby
but,
next week?
You know, is it
Kinda
May?
seems like it.
We just reported that it's the last day to get the cheaper rate on the Derby Festival Mini Marathon, which comes up in 4 months. So yeah, let's start training today. What do you say?
I mean, go for it.
Okay,
If you're
I'm
ready
gonna.
to run through some rain, can you
Yeah,
do it?
yeah.
It's
I'd
okay,
rather have rain than cold.
That's for sure. We're not going to be that cold today.
Okay.
In the 50s, 4-hour highs. I would not be surprised if some places touch 60 degrees this afternoon. That's how warm we're expected to get because we didn't really drop down very much. Now, something else that we're watching for today, that rain. And we've seen quite a bit of rain already this year, over 64 inches of rain. And we're getting pretty close to the wettest wettest year on record, excuse me. So we're going to be watching as more and more of that rain comes through our area. And we're going to see almost, for some of you, 1.5 inches, possibly a little bit more than that. So that could really help bump us up. But in terms of the rain that we're seeing on the radar right now, it is light and it's mainly to our south. We're starting to see more of those showers, though, pushing into our southernmost counties. So looking at Grayson County first right now towards Caneyville. That's where we're seeing some decent rain falling across the area towards Sadler as well. Now heading a little bit further to the east, Gresham, Fry, Gradyville, Sparksville, even Columbia, seeing some more of this light rain continuing to push to the north. So if you're in those areas, make sure you have the rain gear handy if you're about to step on out the door. Temperatures in the 40s for most locations. 43 in Salem, North Vernon, 43 in Litchfield, 46 in Fort Knox, but still 50 degrees in Louisville. We'll be dealing with these on and off light showers throughout the morning, so be fully prepared for those. Drag out a little bit more into the afternoon. Could even see some breaks of sun. And if we do, that means our temperatures are going to get even warmer, so be fully prepared for that. Into the evening, we will see drier conditions. That is until early Friday morning when that wave of rain starts to push in. And it's all associated with this low that's going to be moving from Texas through Mississippi straight towards us, bringing us that potential for more widespread rain. Now, this is not going to be consistent all day rain, on and off showers here and there through the day on your Friday, continuing into your Saturday, wrapping up by the time we reach your Saturday afternoon. So that's something that we're going to keep an eye on because of the clouds, because of the rain. Temperature is not going to budge very much. Going to be in the upper 40s, low 50s, 4-hour highs. For your Sunday, sunshine back in the forecast. As we head further into the next work week, yes, we do get to keep that sunshine drier until Wednesday.
2 women are killed in a Bowling Green apartment, and this morning police say the suspect or suspects may have injuries and need medical treatment. They have not said how 62-year-old Dolores Hampton Stacker and 53-year-old Karen Burks died. We do know that Burks lived in the apartment, though. It's also not known how long their bodies had been there before they were found.
They're going door to door, talking to family members and anyone here who may know something. There is some indication to this that it would be an isolated incident. I certainly don't want to cause any public harm.
Another person was shot multiple times, dying on the same street, though, just 5 months ago.
Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin took to Facebook, blasting the Courier-Journal's newly announced partnership with a Pulitzer Prize-winning news organization. The post was in response to the Courier's announced partnership with ProPublica, a nonprofit investigative publication that subsidizes and assists newsrooms across the country with local investigations. Bevin called the partnership an outrage, fueled by liberal special interests.
This is also an organization, ProPublica, supported by George I Hate America Soros. I mean, this is the sad reality of who the Courier-Journal, which pretends that it's an actual news organization or a publication, is so remarkably biased. They are now full in bed with this particular organization.
ProPublica has been recognized for its watchdog investigations, receiving the Pulitzer Prize 4 times. Emotional reunions in West Virginia. 3 people trapped in an abandoned coal mine since Saturday emerged alive. They came out dirty, hungry, tired, but didn't appear to be seriously injured. Each taken to the hospital to get checked out.
What was it like in there?
Let's go.
Tell me what was like in there. It was terrible. Let's go. He's ready to go.
Officials believe the group entered the mine to steal copper wiring, which can translate into big bucks. A criminal investigation on that is pending this morning.
Well, we are following that big breaking news story here this morning. Such a sad morning on Sunrise. A crash near Scottsburg, Indiana, kills a Charlestown police officer. Emotional moments there on the scene as officers embrace each other following the death. This happened around 11:30 last night near the intersection of State Road 3 and State Road 56 in Scott County. It happened during a police chase following a traffic stop in Clark County. Kayla Van Meter is learning more, and we'll have the newest information as you wake up this morning on this terrible Thursday morning here. Plus, we need some good news, and we have some of it, so stick around. Must-see video right now showing the moment Santa gets down on the floor and allows a young boy who is blind and has autism to meet him for the very first time. And I promise you, it'll melt your heart. That's coming up next.
I cried watching that story on Nightly News. That was an amazing story. You look forward to that. All right, guys, a quick update on our breaking traffic news that we have this morning. Take a look at the maps. This is going to be 64 west to 65 south. It is the ramp where a semi has overturned in this area. This is a live look from our SkyTrack camera now. You can see emergency crews on the scene there. It's hard to see the actual semi. It's on its side. In fact, this just sent in from one of our Wave viewers. You can see it laying completely on its side right there in the ramp itself. Traffic is just stop and go while emergency crews are on the scene. Much more on this still to come here on Sunrise. But first, here's the latest look at your Kentucky Lottery jackpots. The Mega Millions, $262 million. The Powerball, $246 million.
The Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education.
Well, check this out here. Holiday decorations at the Holland Tunnel in New Jersey are driving a few commuters insane. This is why. Workers on the New Jersey side of the toll decided to deck the halls, but instead of placing the triangular tree on the letter A, which obviously would make sense, they decided to place it on the letter N, sending drivers into OCD overload. Yes! What are they thinking?
Would you do that?
That drives me nuts as well.
Just shove it over. Shove it over to
Shift
the
it
A.
just a tad.
But why is there an O over the U then?
Yeah, that's the next question.
Tonal instead of tunnel.
Why do people not have more compelling lives than to complain about that?
I sit in the newsroom. We have the More Local Now right above my desk, and I stand there and I look at myself and I look at that and I think it needs to be shifted like just a few inches. It's a thing. It's not just me.
All the pictures in your house are perfect too.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I have issues. People at home know what I'm talking about, right? Come on now.
Yeah, I agree with you. It is irritating when you see something that's just not perfect, you know, not the way you want it to
slide
be.
a little bit. Speaking of not perfect, Brian Good, we have a lot of issues on the roads as folks wake up here this morning.
Yeah, this is a very busy ramp for those coming in from the East End because it's both 64 and 71. It's both the traffic flows that merge into the junction and go to 65 South to head toward either 65 South in general or to Jefferson Street. So this is a busy spot where we have this overturned semi that has taken place here. Let me zoom right into the spot I'm talking about. In fact, here's a live look right now of the semi itself onto its side on that ramp, and I've been watching. They haven't had any cars go by, and based on what I'm looking at here, it's certainly more of a cleanup issue than anything, because look at this photo just sent in just moments ago from one of our viewers. You can see where they certainly have had to put out something that was on fire, or they just watered down the truck, or this is actually fuel that has leaked out. If it's a case of fuel, this ramp is going to be closed for a while before they get it cleaned up. And this is one of our main ramps of the junction here to get traffic through. So just kind of a heads up, avoid this if you can. I would try to exit at Melwood if you're able to, and then cut through some of the downtown streets if you can, and re-emerge back on 65 or just head into downtown in general. We do have also on the map here a couple of other issues. Stalled vehicle on 65 as well as a crash on Dixie Highway. So Tawana, we'll keep an eye on all of this. Another full report here in about 5 minutes from now.
Sounds good, Brian. Sounds good. Keeping an eye on that. Now, something we're watching, the rain chances over the next couple of days. We're going to see some scattered showers today. Temperatures into the 50s for our high. So certainly on the mild side. For your Friday, even more rain. So on and off showers throughout the day on Friday, starting around mid-morning, and that will continue through at least Saturday afternoon. So it's going to be quite a while that we'll be dealing with this rain. But by the time we're starting to wrap up the weekend, not a bad time to do anything outdoors then, especially since we'll be seeing more of that sunshine in the forecast, and we'll be dry all the way through Wednesday. Now, we are looking ahead to another system that may be passing by towards the end of next week, and of course towards Christmas. We're keeping an eye on that potential system that may be bringing us, yes, some snow. I'll break down those chances in a bit.
All right, Tawana, thank you. Here at 6:25 this morning, let's talk some basketball. The Cards, pretty big favorite going into last night's game. Fans this morning breathing a sigh of relief after that close win on the court.
Yeah, Lipscomb, Chris Mack's team taking on a squad that returned 5 starters off a team that made the NCAA tournament last year. Jordan Nwora got off to a hot start, scored the Cards' first 11 points. Dwayne Sutton came up big as well in this game with 14. He had 9 boards too. Cards were 11-point favorites, and they survived it, 72-68. They're now 7-3. Not every child who meets Santa is happy about it, but some are downright grateful, like Matthew Wolf.
Yeah, listen to this story. An annual photo with Santa is a tradition for some, but 6-year-old Matthew, who is blind and had autism, has never met the big guy until this year. Check it out. Even with his challenges, Matthew had developed a huge interest in Santa. His mother says she whispered to Santa about Matthew's situation, and Santa said, "Say no more." He got down on the floor and let Matthew feel his face and eyes for the very first time.
I stood there with my eyes, all glossy from tears welling up inside, because I was just excited for him to actually put that together.
He's never seen a reindeer. He's never seen a picture of a reindeer. So the thing is, let him feel one, and we have them right here.
Oh, look at that photo. Wonderful there. Misty says the experience meant more to her than any Christmas present. Makes me want to tear up, and that Matthew will appreciate it forever.
It is 6:27 right now. Back into some heartbreaking news we're covering right there. Look at this great big tree, car right straight into it. That car was being driven by a Charlestown police officer who was dead after that crash in southern Indiana.
Yeah, we are learning a lot of new details here this morning about what happened during a police chase that led to the officer's death, as well as video that shows just the emotional toll this is taking on officers at the scene. Look at this right here. They're saluting their fellow officer as his body is being taken into the ambulance. Much more on this breaking news coming up next here at 6:30.
With breaking news happening now, this is Wave 3 News.
6:30. Wow, look at this. Breaking on Sunrise. A police officer killed during a pursuit in southern Indiana. Line of squad cars right here following the officer being taken away.
And just minutes before that, the officers were seen giving a salute as the body was loaded into the ambulance. Video right there. This happened around 11:30 last night near the intersection of State Road 3 and State Road 56 in Scottsburg.
Wave 3 News reporter Kayla Van Meter live on the scene this morning in Scott County. So you just received some more information about the officer.
Yeah, 35 years old with Charlestown City Police for 9 years, and we know he left this deadly scene, his body with respect and honor, as his fellow officers made sure that was the case as the ambulance drove away earlier this morning. You can see State Road 3 behind me picking up with traffic. It meshes with State Road 56. This area has reopened since investigators have cleared the scene early this morning around 4:30. We know backing up, though, around 10:30 last night is when all of this began. It started near Charlestown, and ISP telling us this morning that Sergeant Benton Bertram was in Charlestown attempting to make a traffic stop. The suspect, 23-year-old Benjamin Eads of Freedom, Indiana, was driving a 98 Toyota Corolla. Well, ISP says that Eads would not stop for the officer, so Sergeant Bertram drove after him down State Road 3 into Scott County. That chase ending right here at the intersection of State Road 3 and State Road 56. For those familiar, we know this area, that intersection actually makes a Y, a dangerous spot according to some neighbors. We know this is the area that Bertram then was swerving left off the road, crashing into a tree. ISP tells us he was pronounced dead here at the scene. We see officers saluting his body as it was placed inside an ambulance, clinging to one another during this devastating time this morning. Just moments ago, we actually spoke to a neighbor who says she saw it all, even saw the suspect driving away.
They went over the little hump and the police officer hit the tree and died in the scene. And the other car swung around in the field and back out the driveway and headed back toward 56, toward Madison. And they chased him on that way.
Police finally caught up with Eads in Clark County. He's in custody right now in the Scott County Jail, facing several charges this morning: resisting arrest, resisting law enforcement, causing death rather, along with auto theft. 2 felonies out of both Clark and Scott counties this morning. We know all of this still under investigation with ISP. Again, we know that Officer Bertram had been with Charlestown City Police for 9 years. Just moments ago, I was on social media updating all the newest information. Someone actually tweeting me saying that Officer Bertram was, quote, one of the good ones. For now, reporting live in Scottsburg, Kayla Van Meter, Wave 3 News.
Okay, also at 6:33, we have a major traffic problem in the junction right now. Live picture behind us of an overturned semi.
Yeah, we are just getting word part of the interstate is closed here this morning. Let's get right to Brian Good with the latest on this breaking traffic news. Brian.
Hey guys, good morning. Yeah, here's the latest setup. This is in the heart of the junction itself, a very popular route here. If you're traveling from 64 or 71 and you want to get south onto 65, this ramp is your only way to get to that point. And it is, you can see here, colored in purple now, closed off. And here's a live look again of that semi. I know it's hard to see. It's not lit very well. It is on its side. You see emergency crews on the scene as well. Now, there are 2 lanes to work with, but let me show you this photo that one of our Wave viewers sent in, and you see the problem here. Here it is on its side, but look at the shine. It looks like fuel has leaked out from it, covering both lanes here. So that's a cleanup process, and that's likely the reason for the shutdown. Not only to mention they got to get it back upright again. So this is going to be a long duration event, it looks like, all the way through rush hour. So if you're trying to exit at this point, you're likely going to have to exit at Melwood if you can and cut through Frankfort Avenue and to the side streets to try to get into downtown Louisville and then try to reconnect again at First Street to 65. That's about your only option at this point. If you can exit early enough or exit at Grinstead, and maybe that will help you out too, cutting through Lexington. All right, another crash on Dixie Highway heading toward Rockford Lane, and got another report of a crash at 71 near the Waterston, but so far I'm not seeing any backups from that. So we got a lot to monitor. We'll keep an eye on this. Tawana, Andrew, you're monitoring the radar because the rain is starting to light up to the south.
It's starting to move into Grayson County, Adair County, Greene County, mainly so far. And we're going to be dealing with this as we continue through the morning. It's been light, but it's certainly something that might slow you down as you're heading into work, taking the kids to school this morning. So Grayson County towards Litchfield, Short Creek, towards Caneyville, that's where we're continuing to see more of this light rain. Columbia, Glens Fork, Cane Valley is also dealing with the light rain right now. So our temperatures as well in the 40s all across the area, seeing 2 exceptions to that, 39 degrees right now in Seymour, 50 degrees in Louisville. The temperature in Louisville has not changed very much over the past 12 hours. So we're going to be seeing more of these showers pushing in, but they're going to be scattered. Temperatures getting into the mid to upper 50s this afternoon. Now we are going to get close to the 2nd wettest year on record. I'll let you know why in just a bit.
Getting back into the news headlines here at 6:36. A 21-year-old Kentucky woman's arrested and charged for the murder of her newborn daughter. State police say Amber Bowling of Manchester admitted to giving birth to the child Sunday, then placing the crying baby in a trash bag and throwing it over the upstairs banister of an apartment complex. An autopsy found the child died from blunt force trauma with a skull fracture, broken ribs, and a brain bleed. Kentucky has a safe haven law that allows mothers to turn over unwanted newborns anonymously. The mother has 30 days from birth to leave the child at any hospital with a police officer or a firefighter, or at certain churches too. As long as the baby has not been abused, the mother doesn't have to worry about arrest or prosecution. The child is examined and given medical treatment if needed, then placed with Child Protective Services.
The local man making national news in court yesterday after cell phone video shows LMPD officers arresting him and punching him. Jarvis Ransom's attorney filed a motion to get his hands on that body cam and dash cam video of the arrest, which still has not been made public.
Case has been on video, and essentially police pulled him out of the car and beat the hell out of him, and we're trying to get those videos immediately.
A judge ordered for the body cam video to be released to Ransom's lawyer before his next court appearance next month. Cell phone video recorded by witnesses. You can see it right there on your TV screen. This was at a West Broadway Kroger, spread quickly online, and it upset a lot of people. A police report says Ransom was trying to hide pills, then lunge at the officer before he was taken down to the ground and eventually handcuffed. Ransom faces 5 charges, including drug possession, tampering with evidence, and resisting arrest.
Over the next 12 hours, we'll continue to deal with these light showers slowly making their way north through our area. Most of the rain well to our south and well to our west. But as we head into tonight and then tomorrow, we'll be dealing with even more widespread rain. I'll break down how much we're going to see in just a few minutes.
And we're checking back into Scott County here this morning in just a couple of minutes. Following that breaking news, Kayla Van Meter getting new information right now on that police chase that killed a Charlestown City police officer. We have the newest information on a very sad morning here on Sunrise coming up next.
All right, guys, 6:41. Here's an update on our breaking traffic news. Again, I'm going to take you right into the heart of Spaghetti Junction. You see that purple line there? That is the ramp that really involves 71 and 64, because when they merge together in the junction, you only have one ramp to get you to 65 southbound. A viewer sent this photo of a semi here that has overturned onto its side, and it looks like fuel has spilled out onto that ramp itself, so that is closed and blocked off. And out here behind me is now the live image that we have from our SkyTrack camera. I know it's hard to tell, it's a dark image, but you can see the semi there and you see emergency crews. I've been watching the crews walk around with their flashlights trying to get this cleanup process. And these cleanup processes that develop like this, especially with fuel, can take a few hours.
I was going to say, any word yet this morning how long this may take to get it cleared? Yikes. Big problem for the morning commute then.
Yeah. Okay, this has been one of the heaviest, saddest newscasts we've had on Sunrise in really a long, long time. So it is time for Make It a Good Morning, and the pressure's really on. Please come up with something.
Done. There you go.
Beautiful photo from Chris Lee. Love this photo. This was sent in with the family. And what I love about it the most, can you pick it out?
Rocking the mohawk,
Dude's
baby.
hairdo. I love that.
Nice. Cute.
John, you used to have the opposite in. You had the butt cut. You went the
I
other way.
did. I really did. Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for sending that in, Chris. Appreciate it. Love seeing these photos with Sam. And I have a really sweet one, too. I just got moments ago that I'll try to get on the air tomorrow morning. So keep sending them in. And you may just see it on Sunrise.
All right. If you're just waking up with us, we'll get back to that breaking news again out of southern Indiana. The officer, unfortunately, who was killed during a chase. But let's get right to Tawana here again at 6:42. Really a lot going on over the next several days. We could be approaching the wettest December on record with the more rain heading our way.
We could be approaching the wettest year on record
ever,
for
yes.
Louisville ever, and we're already pretty close to the second wettest year. It won't take much. It won't. If we get just enough, even less than 1/10 of an inch of rain today, that's all it takes for us to bump up into the second wettest year in Louisville ever. So we already are watching these showers pushing their way north, mainly towards Grayson County and Adair County, but Breckinridge County about to get in on that rain chance in just a bit. Litchfield, you are dealing with this rain right now. Adair County, Columbia, Craycraft, and seeing towards Christine, continuing to deal with the light rain. Temperature is still in the 40s for most locations. The cool spot, 39 degrees in Seymour. The warm spot, 50 degrees at the airport in Louisville. We'll be dealing with these light showers through the morning, continuing as we head closer to the afternoon, and we'll see some breaks in those clouds for the second half of our day, and that will help with the warm up. We're expecting those mid to upper 50s later on this afternoon. Tonight, we'll drop back down into the 40s, but here's the thing. More clouds, more rain on the way, and it looks to come just in time for that morning commute tomorrow. So that's something we're keeping an eye on. That widespread rain continues through the late morning, into the afternoon, into Friday night, into early Saturday. But by the time we hit your Saturday afternoon, that's when things should start to get much drier. And our 7-day shows that our temperature is going to stay on the mild side as we head into the weekend, into the low 50s for our highs for Friday, Saturday, and even Sunday. But Sunday looks much drier, and we stay dry at least through Wednesday of next week. So that's something we're going to be keeping an eye on, because we have yet another system that's going to be pushing in towards the 20th, the 21st. That'll bring us that potential for rain and possibly even a little bit of snow trying to mix in. But we're really looking towards Christmas Day. I know everyone wants to know what it's going to be like. Well, it certainly is still looking like we'll be dealing with the cold air back into the 30s by then. Now, if we do get a potential storm system passing through with this cold air, we do have that chance for some snow. Now, whether or not the system comes a little bit faster, comes a little bit slower, something we're certainly going to be watching as we head closer to Christmas. But overall, all things do indicate we are going to be colder for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
6:45 now. No state has more needle exchanges than Kentucky. Plans are in the works to open a new needle exchange program in Grayson County now. But the sheriff isn't sold. Medical professionals argue needle exchanges cut down on the spread of disease and offer help for addicts. In the past year, the number of HIV cases in Grayson County has doubled. But Sheriff Norm Chaffins has concerns.
The people that are issuing the needles can't guarantee that they're not going to overdose even before they leave the parking lot. So at what cost are we giving needles to people?
The needle exchange program has passed the Litchfield City Council, but it still needs approval from the fiscal court. Chaffin says if the proposal passes, the sheriff's office will do everything they can to help make it succeed.
Well, listen to this. Trending here this morning, dozens of people rushed to fill up their gas tanks for less than $1. A glitch at a Circle K gas station in several states last night led to penny gas. You heard that right. And crazy crowds looking to take advantage. A company spokesperson says Circle K was testing out a new system where corporate can change gas prices remotely. Uh-oh, though, that system malfunctioned. Unleaded, selling for just 1 penny per gallon. We're told a driver got more than 12 gallons of premium gas for only 30 cents.
Because I should have got out the bed and came got gas. Now I got to pay $1.99 for gas.
Girlfriend, you got to get out of bed. Good for everybody else, though, right? Gas is so expensive nowadays anyways. People there rushed to fill up their tanks before workers realized the problem and then, of course, shut down the pumps. One Facebook post says cars were coming in every direction, the traffic the wrong way, over curbs, and everything else. It was a madhouse.
Okay, breaking this morning at 6:47 here, a crash happening right here. Here's I-65, here's Scottsburg, State Road 56 right there. Killed a Charlestown police officer overnight. Heartbreaking video coming in the newsroom as you slept of people comforting one another on the scene as the officer was taken away. We have more of what we saw, details on the police pursuit that led up to the crash, live from the scene with Kayla Van Meter in just minutes.
And we're also following breaking traffic news here this morning. Here's a live picture in the junction right now. A semi has overturned. You can see emergency crews on the scene and just getting word that part of the interstate is shut down. Brian Good covering all of it for us coming up right after the break.
Breaking right now, this heartbreaking video showing Southern Indiana officers saluting one of their own who had just been killed in a crash right around midnight.
Right now, we know 33-year-old Charlestown police officer Benton Bertram, right there on your TV screen, was killed in the line of duty. He was with the Charlestown Police Department for 9 years.
We now know it happened during a chase that started as a traffic violation near Charlestown, then continued into Scott County. Officer Bertram crashed into a tree at the intersection of State Road 3 and 56 east of Scottsburg. Wave 3 News reporter Kayla Van Meter joins us now live from the scene with an update after an emotional, terrible morning for law enforcement there.
Yeah, it was just hours ago. This area was completely filled with Officer Bertram's fellow officers saying goodbye as his body was placed into an ambulance this morning. You can see now the red and blue lights no longer here. It looks as though not much is happening, but I'll guarantee you that between Clark and Scott counties this morning, investigators are still working very hard to figure out exactly what took place. All of this starting around 10:30 last night near Charlestown. That's where ISP says that Officer Benton Bertram attempted to make a traffic stop there. That's where we're told 33-year-old Benjamin Eads of Freedom, Indiana, was driving a 98 Toyota Corolla. They tell us that Bertram was attempting to pull Eads over, but Eads would not stop. So Officer Bertram drove after him on State Road 3. The chase ended right here at the intersection of State Road 3 and State Road 56 with Officer Bertram swerving off the road, crashing into a tree. This tree in the front yard of a nearby home. That officer, Officer Bertram, pronounced dead here at the scene. Other officers saluting his body as it was placed inside an ambulance early this morning, clinging onto one another during this devastating time. Hard to witness out here for fellow officers and neighbors as well. We spoke to one neighbor who says she watched him try to save Officer Bertram for nearly 45 minutes this morning. She says she also watched the suspect drive away. We do know that suspect, Eads, is in custody right now in Scott County Jail, facing several charges this morning, 2 felonies out of both Scott and Clark counties. Resisting law enforcement causing death is one of them, along with auto theft. All of this continues to remain under investigation. As for Officer Bertram, we do know that he was 33 years old and with the Charlestown City Police Department for 9 years. We're following all of this, learning new details. Follow us on wave3.com after the show. For now, reporting live in Scottsburg, Indiana, Kayla Van Meter, Wave 3 News.
All right, Kayla, thank you, and I know you'll have more come up on midday as well. All right, guys, I got a traffic alert update for you guys. For those of you traveling on 71 southbound or 64 west, when you get into the junction, everyone tries to merge to 65 south if that's the direction you're going, and it is right now closed anywhere in that purple shade. And the reason for that is an overturned semi. You see the big giant record truck is on the scene to try to get it upright, but that's not the problem. The biggest problem, and this was sent from one of our viewers, we now got the report of 50 gallons of fuel has spilled onto the ramp itself. So that's a lengthy process to get it cleaned up. They got to sand it down and more likely put sand down and kind of get everything cleaned up and moved out of the way and get the truck out. And that whole process could take up to 2 to 3 hours sometimes. So this ramp is going to be closed, looks like, for a while. Try to exit at Melwood or Grinstead if you're on 64, or perhaps even Zorn to get yourselves around that if you need to head south. Another crash here on 71 at the Waterston Expressway, but so far I'm not seeing any backups from that. We'll have live updates on this course coming out throughout the Today show as well. We also are tracking not just traffic, but the rain moving in Tawana across the southern county. So at the beginnings of a rainy period coming our way, it looks like.
And easily could reach the second wettest year on record for Louisville. So quite a bit of rain.
Don't have to go far,
don't have to go very far to meet that record, that's for sure. Adair County, you continue to deal with this light rain just to the south of Columbia, pushing a little bit further to the west in Grayson County, still seeing some light rain, and some light rain trying to push into Breckenridge County as well. So we're seeing much more of this moisture moving to the north. It's going to be on and off throughout the day. Not everyone will see that rain, but we all have that potential, and it's on the lower side. Now, in terms of our temperatures, much warmer than what we've seen the past couple of days. Waking up to those 40s, still at 50 degrees in Louisville. Eventually, we're going to make it up into the mid to upper 50s for our highs today. Seeing that slight rain chance in the forecast throughout the day. Now, keep in mind, we see more widespread rain for tomorrow, and that starts to wrap up as we head towards your Saturday afternoon.
Hello there. Do you need a picture with the Colonel?
The Salvation Army recruiting some star power in St. Matthews. Harlan Sanders impersonating Rick Pitino during a U of L whiteout, ringing bells outside the Hobby Lobby on Breckenridge Lane. The real Colonel Harlan Sanders was a big supporter of the Salvation Army, the organization trying to raise $565,000 in the Red Kettles by Christmas Eve.
And we're getting you in the Christmas spirit here this morning. A live look behind us at Rockefeller Center. Look at that.
That's still my bucket list to go see that in person.
I'll go with you.
Always wanted to. It'd be nice. It'd be fun. Yeah, why not?
You're the traffic guy. You're supposed to worry about traffic in New York.
It's cabs.
Cabs,
over here.
that is true.
It's easy. Traffic report done. Yeah.
Download the free Wave 3 News app for the latest breaking news out of that officer-involved death. We'll have much more coming up.
More local now. Watch Wave 3 News on your favorite device. Sponsored by Land Rover of Louisville.